104.7 The Cave, Mike the
Yep, there we
Intern,
go.
Jay Stevens in the studio.
Unbelievable.
Episode 120. This is Dark Side of the Stream. And
Here I am.
Jay's here in the studio
I'm
with me to
alive.
discuss the documentary we watched this week, which was Jay's pick on Netflix, Alabama versus Brittany Smith. Now, first off, sir, I want to commend you for picking the shortest documentary we have ever done in Dark Side of the Stream. I started that thing, I was like, 40 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, Jay.
Yeah. Sometimes we go on these 4-hour journeys. No, not this one.
4 hours, like 5 episode, 2.5 hour long crap. Anyway, so commending Jay on that pick. So in honor of the shortest episode we've ever watched in Dark Side of the Stream, we're going to give you the shortest episode of Dark Side of the Stream. Because there's not a whole lot to digest in this at all.
This was an odd one. Well, the topic was interesting.
Topic was interesting.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground law in Alabama.
And when stand your ground doesn't work.
And when you can try and use it if maybe you were high on meth or not.
Yeah, it seemed like there was drugs. There was some lying involved. So
definitely some lying. Definitely some not truth telling.
Makes your character a little wacky.
Character studies for sure. But you, at the end of the day, feel sorry for these people that are living in essentially poverty. But again, since we watched the shortest documentary that we've ever watched in Dark Side of the Stream, this is going to be the shortest episode. Next, Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The K. .7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 120, State of Alabama versus Brittany Smith. As I mentioned, the shortest documentary we've ever watched on this show. So this is going to be the shortest episode we've ever done, which is going to be funny either way. So
better put on an extra Pink Floyd song on this hour.
I know. Basically what happened was this girl is living in Alabama. She's probably kind of riding the line with the law, probably using some meth, but I guess she was clean at this time. Not really sure.
She was pretty when she was young. This is another example why you probably shouldn't do that drug or a lot of drugs.
Sure. But anyway, so she kind of rekindled a relationship she had with a guy she knew in high school, not like romantic or anything, but they had been friends. And come to find out, this guy had started breeding pit bulls, which whatever. So I guess one night he calls her and says that he's homeless, needs a place to stay. She's like, all right, come crash on my couch. One night, he then sexually assaults her, makes her go to the gas station to get cigarettes. So she calls her mom. Her mom dumps this on her brother, who wakes up and he's like, okay. Because I guess they like share one car between the families.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough family life.
For sure. And so the brother goes over there, picks him up. They go to the gas station. While she's in the gas station, tells the clerk, hey, this guy just raped me, but I can't leave him because my brother's in there. I'm afraid he's going to kill him. So can you help me? And so they go back to her house, and she goes back to the car and tells her brother to go back to the gas station, which is weird because if she could go back out there and say, hey, go to the clerk, you need to talk to, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, this is where the problem.
Why wouldn't you just tell your brother then?
Yeah, there's.
So he goes back to the gas station, supposedly. The clerk tells him, hey, your sister just told me that guy was with you raped your sister. He goes back there. Altercation ensues. The brother had a gun, but he had put it down. The guy is choking the brother out. Brittany picks up the gun, says stop, doesn't stop, shoots him on sight. He dies. And then they call the police, which is probably one of the calmest police phone calls I've ever heard in my life after shooting someone, which we'll talk about next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The K. 104.7 The K, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 120, the state of Alabama versus Brittany Smith. Now, again, this documentary is 40 minutes long. So basically what happens, she calls the cop, says, hey, this guy tried to attack my brother. I shot him, or he was shot. Cops get there. She says her brother does it at first.
Right. This is where why say the
reason she says she did that was because she had kids. She was afraid she'd lose them and the brother was going to take the fall. But then within 24 hours, she recanted her story and said, no, it wasn't my brother. It was me.
Red flag one.
Big time red flag. And it also hurt her credibility because she went into a nurse and her nurse documented all the injuries she had. And it was definitely obvious that she had been assaulted. But the nurse in trial said, I cannot definitively say that she was raped, but I can say that she was attacked.
That was also a weird
that sucks. For Brittany's story, but also the fact that she lied didn't help either.
And it seemed like she probably had a history of run-ins with the law with drugs.
But then also the guy that she shot had like a rap sheet that was like a yellow pages.
Right,
book.
Man. So
massive.
It's just the whole thing was
the other weird, thing I was wild about this was that when they were talking about him and whether or not like he was like messed up or anything, they said the typical level of, and I don't know what this number is, but I guess if you are a typical meth user and you get busted for the sake of a DUI and the cop thinks that you're geeked out and whatever, and they run your blood, the typical level is like 200, something like that. The level that this guy had was like over 850.
That's what's up.
So he was that's not what's up. He was saying like, dude,
maxing out the
like
levels,
this guy was like could have taken on like 20,000 cops. It wouldn't have mattered because he was just so geeked out of his mind. So
that should be even more in
her
favor.
You would think you would in her favor. Ultimately, she would get like time served. She was only in for like 2 years for this thing. Man. She had to plea deal, so she's technically a murderer on paper for the rest of her life. And that's the way it is. We'll check in with what happened after this documentary when we return. Dark Side of the Stream next on 104.7 The K. .7 The K, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio one more time. I tried to make it the shortest episode of
we did it. You really did.
No, we're about average. We're about
we got to get what they pay for.
Hey, we're here and it is our job after all. So all in all, I wanted to know because they ended this and they went on did the numbers and said that women have a harder time proving standing around. 110%, and I agree. But then they don't talk about what happened to Brittany after this. So since she was released from jail after she served, she accepted the plea deal. She got it was like 36 months. They got credit time served. She was only behind bars for 18 months. But since then, she filed her probation on 3 separate occasions and was ordered to return to jail on 2 counts of violation of probation. One time in March of 2022, she used someone else's pee during a drug test. Relapsed on meth. And then as soon as October 27th of 2001, she tried to act as a probation officer. She could hand out candy that event her children were attending, and they denied her. But they did permit her to see her children before the event. And then I guess she went back to jail. She's currently, I guess, or maybe she's released as of November of last year. They said that she could have been released as early as December 7th. So she might be free now. Tough life for this girl. That's the story here. I mean, yeah, it sucks that women have so much stuff they have to prove that they were assaulted and they have to stand in the ground. But really above that, it's more of a story about poverty and the cycle of drug use.
If she would have had money to defend herself, maybe better. If she would have been a rich girl, she might not have taken that plea deal. So, but also, stay away from those kind of drugs, maybe, or
Yeah.
Definitely. Right,
that's our PSA for this show.
PSA.
Next week's my turn in episode 121. A J suggestion because of timeliness as far as the NFL championship and everything else. Untold Operation Flagrant Foul.
About the NBA referee betting scandal.
Betting stuff, and he claims this stuff is happening all over major sports.
Right,
so I can't wait to talk about it.
Hold up now.
As always, if you have a suggestion for us to watch on Dark Side of the Stream, hit me up, Mike the Intern at 1047thecave.com. Always
send your pictures to him.
No, send the pictures to Jay.
Send the pictures to Mike. All you guys can send your pictures to Mike.
Watch us live on Facebook every Thursday, 9 a.m. or YouTube, and then hear us every Thursday, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. on 104.7 The Cave, or as a podcast on our 104.7 The Cave app.
We're everywhere, baby.
We are everywhere. I'm Mike the Intern. This is Jay Stevens reminding you we watch movies so you don't have to. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave.